Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are doing the Shrine of Secrets review for the 21st of December 2022. It is Christmas this week, which is so crazy because it does not feel like that at all. I still have one assignment to hand in, so it doesn't feel like a Christmas break to me very much, so I'm going to try and finish that later. But for now, I am here doing another Shrine review. We're going to get right on with it, I think. First of all, we have Calm Spirit, which is a Jake perk, and this one has so it reduces the chances of, well, it reduces basically your screaming and alerting crows. Pretty much is the best way to describe it. So you run around and you don't disturb the crows very much, and also when anything that would cause you to scream happens, you don't scream. So being downed, shocked by Doctor, gassed by Clown, uh, hooked, even being hooked. It also allows you to open chests and cleanse totems and interact with totems silently, but it does make it slightly slower. So that's pretty cool. It's it's an okay perk. Again, it's like a perk slot for this is probably not worth it. It's great against Doctor, but obviously there's a lot of killers in this game. It's not going to be Doctor every time. When it is Doctor, it's pretty good. Other than that, I don't think this is that worth it. I just don't like, again, things like not disturbing crows is is good. It is good, but like that's just a perk slot for that, you know? Like it's not worth it. I don't think this perk's great, and I don't think I've ever really used it. I didn't even know about the totem thing. That must be new because I don't even remember that part being a part of it. But yeah, basically, it just helps you survive and stealth a little bit more, but it's not great. Next up, we have A Nurse's Calling, which is a nurse perk. I feel like I talk about this one every 2 weeks. But yeah, basically, you see the auras of people healing and being healed within 28 meters. This one's really good for mainly stealth killers because you can get the information on them. And, you know, if you're a Wraith, you can go up to them and uncloak. If you're a pig and you're crouched, you can just go up to them. If you're a shrouded ghost face, you can just walk up to them. It's good to get that. And 28 meters is a pretty decent range. It's good if you've got like Sloppy Butcher as well. So it takes longer, so there's a better chance of you catching them before they finish their heal. Uh, it's good. I don't use it very often, but I do use it sometimes. As like I said, you don't have to just use it on stealth killers. It's best on stealth killers, but to be honest, if you're like a plague or like a legion or something, this is probably alright because actually, no, that would not work. Maybe Oni. I went to Plague and Legion because they're about injuring people, but I know they don't really heal. But Oni would be good because it helps you to find the pools of blood. So if even if you don't catch them before they finish healing, you at least know there's a bunch of blood over there to get later. So it's a good perk. I like that one. Next up, we have Open Handed, which is an ace perk, and this one increases everyone's aura reading ranges by 12 meters, and survivors can only be affected by one open handed effect at a time, which means if everyone brings open handed, they won't get like, 40 something meters of aura reading, whatever. I don't know. You get what I mean? Like, it doesn't stack basically. Like, you only need one person on your team to have this, and it works for everyone. I think this one's okay as well, but I think obviously the thing is you have to be using other aura perks for this. I would say the best is probably Kindred because an extra 12 meters for where the killer's going after they hook the survivor is really helpful. But like I said, it works for anything like Bonds. Bonds like 36 meters, so an extra 12 is really good for that. Empathy, one of Yoishi's perks. I can't remember which one it is. Is it Parental Guidance? Is it? Oh no, the awareness one. I can't remember what it's called. What is what's his aura perk called? It's like empathetic awareness or something. I can't remember, but like yeah, if you're as long as you and at least other people are using aura perks, which is very likely, this one is good for it. It's all right. Again, it's a perk slot just to increase the auras of other perks. So if that's useful to you, that's up to you. But I think Kindred is definitely the main one that comes to mind for me. But like I said, this any aura perk pretty much. So use that how you will. And finally, we have Unnerving Presence, which is a Trapper perk. Again, I feel like this one I spoke about this month. Also, excuse my voice break there. A Trapper perk, again. Survivors within your territories have a 10% greater chance of triggering skill checks, and the success zones of those skill checks gets greatly reduced, which basically makes it so if you're repairing a generator or something in the killer's terror radius, you'll get skill checks more often, and they're tiny, which sounds bad, but honestly, skill checks are like a really easy part of this game. The only time I would say this is difficult is if there's a skill check build, Hunter's Lullaby, Overwhelming Presence, Distressing, if it's Doctor, then, that's just, that's just a thing of its own. But I think this one sounds bad, but it really isn't. Like I've played against Unnerving plenty of times. It's really easy. And the other thing I always think about with this, sorry about the cut. My dog randomly started barking really loudly, so sorry about that. But anyway, as I was saying, one thing I always think about with this perk is that because the skill check gets smaller, it makes the great skill check zone like 50% of the skill check, if that makes sense. So like because it's smaller, the great part is now like half of the entire skill check. So when you hit that skill check, there's a 50% chance that you'll get the great one, which is obviously good for you and not for the killer. So think about that when you use this perk or when you're playing against it. Like it basically increases the chances um of getting great skill checks. And also, the other criticism I always say of these perks is that it tells you when Unnerving Presence is active. So if you're repairing something in the generator, then you're just going to leave the generator until they go. And that means Unnerving Presence isn't doing anything. It's deterring you from the gen, which I guess is like good, but it's not really doing what it's intended to do because there's no skill checks to be done. So yeah, perks kind of silly. I wouldn't recommend it at all. I would say Nurses. I think Nurses Calling is really solid. I think it's very strong and helpful. And like I said, I don't use this too often, but I think if you play Stealth Killers a lot, this is a must. And Open-Handed, I guess if you're interested or if you're someone who knows that you run aura perks a lot, and also if you're a team, like you have friends who use aura perks, this is one's good because like I said, as long as one of you has this, it benefits everyone. And at tier 3, I think it's like 15-meter range, so that's pretty good. So if you want to. The other two are just absolute like nopes, and I would never say to use those. But guys, that's gonna do it from me. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one.